Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Chat with Harry Dell. My name is Harry Dell. I am the host of my little show, I guess, on here on YouTube. We talk about boxing. We talk about everything to do with boxing history, um, the origins of the sport. Um, we do news, the latest updates on fighters, fights, and also on fun stuff like fantasy matchups, those bar discussions as some people call them, who versus who against, like in their prime, different eras, all that good stuff. um, let's go ahead and start right now with the first topic of the day. Porter versus Malignaggi. It's official. It's going to be on April 19th, and it will be on the undercard of Hopkins versus Shumanov. It's a good fight. The winner, by the way, has to face Kell Brook. It's mandatory. It's in their contract. They have to do it. And they don't care. They're like, oh, the hell with it. I'm gonna win and I'm gonna beat Kell Brook. That's how they're supposed to think. And let's go with Porter. 23-0-1 with 14 knockouts. Malignaggi 33-5 with 7 knockouts. This is a good fight for both. Both are in different times in their career. Both have well, Malignaggi has some solid wins. Porter has a very notable win recently against Devon Alexander, which nobody thought he would win. They thought he was going to get outboxed. They thought he was going to just stand no chance against Alexander. Porter, a lot of people, they see him as, kind of a one-trick pony, kind of a one-night wonder when he beat Alexander. And they're not giving him a chance against Malignaggi. Malignaggi's going to box him. He's going to box circles around Porter. And, I think it's going to be a good fight for both. Porter can adapt pretty well. He has a very good style because he has different styles, if you understand what I mean. He could, he changes it up every time. He boxes different. I've seen a lot of his fights. And I've also seen his sparring sessions on YouTube, and I look at him as, the sparring sessions. I look to see what he does against, certain styles, against certain, situations, and he does pretty good. Yes, those are sparring sessions, but they do count when you look at the fighter for who he is and how he fights. It's a good fight. As far as the whole Kell Brook thing, to be honest, Kell Brook is just average. I'm just gonna put it out there. Kell Brook fans, go ahead and dump on me right now in the comments below. That's fine. But to be honest, England, they see him as the next, they want him to be the next great champion, but he's all right. He hasn't really beat anybody. That's like a world beater. That's just, whoa, that was a hell of a win. And could that affect him, facing the winner? Because either one who wins is going to be a hell of a fight. It's going to be a tough fight for Brook. And not to mention, he has a fight coming up this weekend against Alvaro Robles, which, it's a tune-up fight. Even he knows it. He admits it. And he's got to get past that guy. And after that, then we'll see on the 19th who's going to win and who's going to be the... Well, at least, the good thing about it was at least we'll know another fight. And, we don't have to wait and who's going to go against who and all that stuff. We'll know exactly whoever wins. We already know who he's going to fight next. So that's good. And it will kick off the second part of the year. It's projected to be on the 19th of July, the fight. The venue, I'm not sure. Maybe England? Maybe? That'd be cool. Kind of have a fight out of the States. With an American fighter. Kind of like a throwback of the old days, where it used to happen a lot. But yeah, it's going to be a good fight. Moving on to the next topic. Danny Garcia versus Mauricio Herrera. Today was their final press conference before the fight. That's coming on this Saturday. People are saying, what the hell is this fight? This is just bullshit. It's bullcrap fight. It's BS. And to be honest, you know, sorry about that. To be honest, you know, um, it's a showcase fight. We all know this. I mean, he wants to show off, you know, his skills. He wants to look good in front of, you know, his soon-to-be new fans, if they're convinced and if they drink the Kool-Aid, the Danny Garcia Kool-Aid. Um, and his team knows, and he knows that it's an important time for him right now. This is an important fight for him because he wants to be a pay-per-view star. He wants to build that fan base. He wants to, you know, be that guy, be that champion for Puerto Rico. And you know, Cotto's on his last legs. He's in his last, you know, hurrah against Martinez, which I'll be talking about a little bit later on. And he knows this, and he wants to take advantage of it, and he wants to be that guy, that champion, that Puerto Rican, you know, Boricua champion that Puerto Rican people could look up to, could grasp, and you know, be excited about boxing in their homeland, because you know there's no champions right now, and there's nobody like, you know, a great person, like great champion, like, you know, back in the day. And Cotto's, you know, he's almost towards the end, and they want a new fresh champion, new face, and Danny Garcia could be that guy. So you know, they're very smart about doing this. You know, I don't want him pulling this stuff off like after this fight though. You know, getting 200 fights, easy fights. You know, because we were saying, you know, he just beat Matisse on a big pay-per-view card, on a really big pay-per-view, you know, and he's going on to face Herrera. But you know, come on, guys. I mean, Herrera's okay. He's solid enough to make it a good fight. But is he a world class fighter? Of course. But no, that's not even no. But he has a lot of experience, and he could, you know, make it interesting. But as far as for the fight, it's really just a showcase fight. We all know this. Now, a lot of people were saying, you know, why doesn't Danny fight Mayfield? You know, Mayfield beat Herrera. Herrera is 2 fights removed from that loss. You know, he has 2 wins after that loss. But you know, of course, we know Mayfield's with Top Rank, and he fights on HBO, which hopefully that will be resolved, and it will. Trust me, guys, it will be. All that drama with Top Rank and Golden Boy, it's not gonna last that long. We'll be alright. We're all gonna get the fights we want in due time. But for as far as, you know, my thoughts on Herrera, you know, facing Mayfield when they fought, you know, it was a pretty convincing win for Mayfield. He, you know, got outlanded by Herrera. You know, Herrera landed 222 punches. Mayfield landed 203, but Mayfield landed more headshots. Herrera landed, you know, more body shots. And you know, throughout that fight, it was very like holding, clinching, kind of. It was an ugly fight. It didn't look too good. It didn't look pretty, I guess. So the judges probably didn't really see anything, you know, enough for him to win the rounds, for him to look outstanding and to get, you know, the decision. And that's why he lost. You know, yes, he outlanded him, but you know, he still lost. You know, just because you outland somebody, it has to matter of, you know, it's a matter of, you know, who landed the most shots in that round, not throughout the whole fight, because that's how, you know, people get confused. But you know, it was an alright fight. It was pretty boring, and it didn't really have its moments that much. But you know, as far as that goes, you know, this is a time for Danny to build a fan base and to become that pay-per-view star. Because you know, ever since they started this whole pay-per-view stuff, you know, I think it's been kind of bad for boxing, because these guys just want to be pay-per-view stars, so they probably take a lot of easy tune-up fights and BS fights to make them look good, and that sucks. I hope Danny does not do that. He needs to step it up after this fight. He wants to fight 2 more times this year, most likely in July, and then, you know, November, December, something like that. So you know, he has to step it up. That'd be cool if he could unify the other belts. That would be a hell of an accomplishment. for Danny. That'll be a hell of a year. But we'll see. Moving on to the next topic, Miguel Cotto versus Sergio Martinez. The press conference kicked off earlier this week, and today they stopped by in Los Angeles, right here in LA. They started off in Puerto Rico, and then it went on to New York, and now it's here in Los Angeles. As far as the press conference goes, I watch them. They don't really. I mean, what the hell they're watching? They're just talking. But it is interesting to see, what the fighters think and what are they saying and who's talking trash and who's saying this. It's been pretty peaceful. People have been complaining about, when they stare down, like, oh, they don't even look like they want to fight each other. They don't look angry. Where's the drama? Where's all that? Come on, guys. It's March. I mean, really. The fight's not till June. The day of the weigh-in, that's going to be the real stare down, and you're going to see a lot of crap talking, a lot of stuff. And it's going to be a hell of a entertaining for us to see them, get in each other's faces and square off the next night. But as far as the press conference goes, Martinez has always been outspoken, and he had no exception for this press conference tour, saying, pretty much making it public that Cotto made too many ridiculous demands, ridiculous to him at least, because he is a champion, and he is known as the champion in the middleweight division, and Cotto has been making ridiculous demands. He wants to come in last. He wants his name first. He wants who knows what else he asked for. But Martinez, bashed him for it, and he said, if Cotto doesn't get rose petals, lined up all the way leading up to the ring, he won't fight. Come on, he's saying Cotto's like a little girl, all this stuff. He doesn't hold back. He says what he feels. That's how he's always been, and damn it, and that's the truth. To be honest, it's gonna be a good fight. People see Martinez as kind of like a old, and they don't want to see him as champion anymore. They want a fresh face. They want a new champion. But they seem to forget that he had a lot of tough fights, and he's been really busy for the past for pretty much his whole damn career. And this is the longest layoff, of course, of his career. He hasn't ran in a year and a half. Who's ever heard of that? Not running for a year and a half, but you're a professional boxer. But I know he's doing other stuff to improve his conditioning and to be ready for the fight. Martinez feels like Cotto is taking advantage of what he thinks is an advantage of Martinez coming off injuries and looking bad against Murray, which I gave him credit for. You got to give him credit for a win. He did win. Murray didn't fight. He just kind of stood there with his hands up. He could have taken the fight over, and you gotta bring it when you're visiting. Against the champion. And he didn't do enough, so Martinez got the win. So Cotto feels like this is the right time to take advantage of Martinez and become the new champion, to be the first Puerto Rican to have championships in 4 divisions, and he actually feels really confident he can do it. And for the fight, I can't wait. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. Pay-per-view numbers are probably gonna be the best, at least for the first part of the year, from the beginning of January to all the way up to June. It should probably be the most, have the most pay-per-view sales from the others. And Martinez also feels confident that Cotto's underestimating him. A lot of people are underestimating him because they feel he's done, and he's on his last pinky. He's like not even on his last legs. He's crawling, but he's gonna come bring it June 7th, and it's gonna be a hell of a fight. I can't wait. Alright guys, now let's go ahead and real quick we're gonna go over some real quick boxing stats on the upcoming fight. For the upcoming fight of the two fighters, Garcia and Herrera. This is not a boxer breakdown. Boxer breakdown is real more in-depth, kind of like detailed breakdown of the fighters, and that would always be the day before the fight. I always have it the day before with the prediction. But today we're just going to run real quick through the stats. Danny Garcia, 27-0, and with 16 knockouts. He's boxed 152 rounds, and he has a KO ratio of 59%. His notable wins: Eric Morales, 2 wins over him, unanimous decision, and a KO in the 4th. Amir Khan, of course, hell of a knockout. Hell of a win in the 4th round. Zav Judah, unanimous decision, and Lucas Matisse, unanimous decision. So, pretty good wins, and of course no losses. Now let's move on to Mauricio Herrera, 20-3 with 7 knockouts. He's boxed 162 rounds, 10 more than Danny, so he has experience. And his knockout ratio is 30%, which also tells you that he has good boxing skills. Because to have 20 wins, and whether it was against a bunch of bums, laundromat workers, with only 7 knockouts, I mean, you must know how to box. So he does have boxing skills, and he has experience. Notable wins: Ruslan Kravanikov, unanimous decision. Mike Dallas Jr., majority decision win. Notable losses: Mike Alvarado, unanimous decision loss, and Kareem Mayfield, unanimous decision lost. So that was just a quick breakdown of their stats. Not too in depth, not too detailed, but on Friday, I will have the real boxing breakdown of each fighter and the prediction to go along with it. All right, guys, we reached the final part of this show, this little show I got here on YouTube. By the way, thanks for hanging in there. It's been almost 20 minutes, and and it's been pretty cool. It's my first video, so thank you guys for the support, and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, moving on to the final part of today's show, at least episode 1. This is the part of the show where it's called Fantasy Matchups, and today's fantasy matchup is going to be featuring Sugar Ray Robison versus Floyd Money Mayweather. Yes, the pound for pound king versus the greatest of all time to many, and to me he is. Sugar Ray Robison, 173 wins, 19 losses, 6 draws, 108 knockouts. He's been stopped once. Floyd Mayweather, 45-0, 26 knockouts. Probably the greatest fighter of this era, and people argue that the best ever. That's pushing it a little bit. I don't think so, but he is a hell of a fighter. Very, very good. Not great, because he has still, I think he missed some opportunities to stamp his legacy a little bit better in his earlier career and even lately. But I'm not a Floyd Mayweather hater. I don't hate on no fighter, and I'm not a fanboy of any fighter. Only the past legends that are already retired, and they stamped their legacy. They put they carved their name in stone, and they are who they are. Those are the guys that I'm fanboys of. For now, the guys fighting now, I follow all of them and I respect all of them. So this part of the show, this is where you guys get to put your 2 cents. Well, pretty much you could pretty much talk about anything. You can send me emails about about any questions you have or any thoughts you have. Your input, your voice is this channel's for you guys. It's for the fans. I'm a fan, and this is where you get to let me know, who do you think will win, Robinson or Mayweather. I will give my my prediction. Well, I would give my input on who would win tomorrow, but I want to know what you guys think. Who would win? How would the fight turn out? How would it look? What would happen? And also, by the way, this would be at 147 because Mayweather has never fought at middleweight, but maybe he might in the future. Who knows? But for now, it's going to be at 147. This fantasy matchup, and that's going to close it out for today's show. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in and staring at me for this whole time. I'm trying to get an actual setup. Of course, I look like I'm in a dungeon somewhere. But this is phase one, and this is the beginning of something that could be really cool for boxing fans, and of course for me. So I'd like to thank you guys for staying with me and listening to what I gotta say. It's been a pleasure, and I will promise I will get better at this. This is my first video. I'm a terrible speaker. I hope I didn't, right here on the little meter where it says, if my voice is too loud, it almost gets to the top sometimes. And try to calm it down a little bit better. But I will get better at this, and this is phase one. It's kind of like getting your feet wet and doing things out for for the future, which will be a lot better, and it's gonna be exciting. So thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time, see you later.